Early this year, our phys ed teaching team met with members of our school's parent council in order to make a case for rethinking our assessment practices in physical education. This keynote reviews our rationale for the shift and provides a general overview of the process. Our rationale for a shift in assessment practices in PE came from the desire to align assessment with the goals of an inquiry-based approach to teaching. We wanted to re-emphasize the need for assessment to support student learning, and we wanted to make sure that our tri-annual check-ins were providing parents with the opportunity to engage in conversations about their child's learning. Student perspectives on assessment in PE gathered over the previous 2 years were that one-on-one interviews were extremely valued as an opportunity for students to speak directly with their teachers about their learning. Students also noted that grades in phys ed were difficult to interpret, and they found that the numbers in isolation had very little meaning. The research perspective also supported a shift away from grades-based reporting. In particular, research found that grades placed too much emphasis on outcomes, resulting in students' increased reluctance to take risks, a general loss of intrinsic motivation, and a get-or-done mentality, resulting in poorer quality work. Research also found that grades emphasized comparisons between students over improved quality of performance, and that this was the case even when grades were accompanied by comments. Research also reported that oral feedback was found to be much more effective for student learning than written feedback, and that it was much more powerful when it included student voice. Because our goal was that this process be undertaken with students, not for them, our proposal was to involve students in determining criteria for excellence to be revisited at the end of each semester. We also proposed that these end-of-semester check-ins would provide opportunity for students to reflect on their work throughout the semester using the criteria we would set to guide the conversation. Our goal for assessment in phys ed was that it would be authentic, meaningful for students in their lives outside of class, integrated, directly connected to both student learning and informing teacher practice, and for learning, clearly directed toward enhancing student learning experiences. In order to construct the rubric, we used headings centered around our school's philosophy and focus in all classes: inquiry, knowledge and skills, work ethic, communication, and supporting and enhancing community. In lieu of using number categories for each, we decided that it was most important to acknowledge areas for growth when students were still learning, areas of success where students had achieved the intended outcomes, and areas of exceptional accomplishment, an opportunity for us to recognize areas of significant strength. In setting out the assessment criteria, we used language from the Alberta Ed curriculum, from the Long-Term Athlete Development Model, and from True Sport Canada. The first step in the process was to establish general headings and start to collect descriptors for each. As a PE team, we eventually established a general set of criteria for the achieving level. The next step was to involve all 600 students in a review of the language and criteria and to provide them with an opportunity to help determine authentic standards for high-quality work. The final product remained in traditional rubric format. However, we found that this continued to be associated with linear or numeric assessments, and so we reorganized the criteria in order to emphasize the descriptors over rankings. The final stage of this process involved posting the collaboratively designed rubrics to our PE bulletin boards for students to review. Over a 3-week period, students were interviewed one-on-one during class time and asked to reflect on their strengths and areas for growth. Following each interview, teachers highlighted descriptors that students had identified on the rubric to be included in their semester report cards. Student conversations were recorded and uploaded to Edmodo. Rubrics have been copied and will be used as a reference to guide goal setting for the following semester.